He never looked at the CEO's desk. For 2 years, the 33-year-old single dad quietly entered her office before sunrise. Gloves on, mop in hand, backpack carrying his daughter's lunch hung on his shoulder. He wiped the same glass table, emptied the same bins, arranged the same files, and every day he kept his eyes down because people like him weren't supposed to stare. But that morning, something made him freeze. A picture frame on her desk had fallen face down during the night. While lifting it, he saw it. A childhood photo of a little girl in purple overalls, laughing, her fingers tangled with the hand of a skinny boy in a red t-shirt, his own face. The breath left his lungs, his knees almost buckled. No, it can't be. He stared at the photo like it was a ghost. Her smile, the missing front tooth, the colorful friendship bracelet she swore she'd wear forever. It was her, his best friend, the girl who had promised never to leave him and then vanished when her family moved overnight. He spent years waiting. Then life happened. Jobs, bills, a daughter, survival, and now she was the CEO. He placed the frame back exactly where it was and tried to steady his shaking hands. Leaving the room felt like walking out of a burning house. All day, her face haunted him, not as the CEO, but as the only person who ever made him feel seen as a child. That evening, as he was leaving the building, her voice suddenly echoed behind him. "Excuse me. Are you the one who cleans my office every morning?" He stiffened. "Yes, ma'am. If there's any issue I can." "No issue, I just noticed something." She stepped closer, studying him. "Oh, we met before." His heart thumped so loud he was sure she could hear it. "I don't think so," he lied. She tilted her head, her eyes narrowing. "I've seen your face somewhere." Then she paused. "Wait, your necklace." He instinctively grabbed it. The tiny faded bead bracelet hanging from a thread. A bracelet a girl gave him 20 years ago. "I made one exactly like that when I was a kid," she whispered. He swallowed hard. "You did?" Her eyes widened. Her hand flew to her mouth. Are you him?" He nodded. The air between them cracked open with memories. She didn't hesitate. She stepped forward and hugged him tighter than anyone had hugged him in years. It felt like the world briefly stopped spinning. "Looked for you," she said into his shoulder. "You disappeared, you moved overnight." He replied softly, and life went a different direction. She pulled back, blinking rapidly. He looked older, worn, but the same boy lived behind his tired eyes. "Why didn't you tell me you work here?" "Because you're the CEO," he said with a hint of a sad smile, "and I'm cleaning offices." She stared at him for a long, heavy moment. Then she glanced at the hallway doors. "Do you have 10 minutes?" she asked quietly. He nodded. They sat in her office, the same room he had cleaned 1,000 times, now feeling like a place where time folded back on itself. She asked about everything. His daughter, his struggles, why he never remarried, why he never dreamed for himself. He listened to her stories, too. How her family broke apart. How she built herself from scratch. How every time she felt lonely. She kept that childhood photo on her desk because it reminded her of the only friend who made her feel safe. "I always believed you were out there somewhere," she said, "but I never thought I'd find you mopping my floors." He forced a laugh. "Life's weird. Life's unfair," she corrected gently. There was a pause, then something unexpected happened. She stood, walked to her cabinet, pulled out a sealed envelope and placed it in front of him. "I was going to hire someone else," she said, "but now I know exactly who deserves this chance." He frowned. "Chance?" "It's a trainee position, office support, better pay, career growth. It's not charity," she added quickly. "It's because I know you, I know your heart, and I know you've carried too much alone." He stared at the envelope. A better life for his daughter. A way out, a door opening after years of closed ones. But what shook him wasn't the offer. It was the look in her eyes, the same look she had when they were kids. The look that said, "I believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself." His voice broke before he could stop it. "Why are you doing this?" She took a breath. "Because after all these years, I finally found my friend again." And he realized sometimes the world doesn't give second chances, but people do. He had been cleaning the CEO's office for years. Every day, he quietly swept the floors, dusted the shelves, and polished the mahogany desk unnoticed and unacknowledged. Life hadn't been easy for him. A single dad juggling 2 jobs, making ends meet, raising his daughter with nothing but love and grit. He didn't complain. He simply did what needed to be done. One rainy afternoon, as he was tidying up the CEO's desk, something caught his eye. A framed photograph tucked neatly in the corner. A boy and a girl laughing with carefree abandon in a sunlit park. The girl's smile was strikingly familiar and the boy's eyes. He froze. That boy was him and the girl, could it really be her? The best friend he had lost touch with when her family moved away 20 years ago. Memories flooded back, the scraped knees, shared secrets, the promise to always stay in each other's lives. He stared, almost disbelieving, as he realized fate had brought them back together, not as children, but through the twists of life he never could have imagined. The next morning she noticed him lingering by the photograph. Instead of irritation, her eyes softened. She spoke, not with authority but with warmth. "I didn't know you were here back then. You were my best friend. I've thought about you often." That day their conversation stretched for hours. He shared stories of struggles and small triumphs. She listened, laughed, and even cried. He realized then that every act of quiet persistence, every day he had shown up despite hardship, had led him to this moment. The very kindness and humility he had practiced in silence had paved the way for a reconnection he had never expected. From that day on, their bond rekindled, not as children, but as two people who had weathered life storms, now finding in each other a rare understanding and companionship. He returned to his duties with a renewed spirit, and she noticed the care and dedication in his work, inspired to ensure he was never overlooked again. Sometimes life's smallest acts of kindness, patience, and selflessness lead to the most extraordinary reunions. And in the quiet corners of the world, even a janitor's mop can sweep in magic, reconnecting hearts that were always meant to find